Welcome back to Border Adventures. We were meant to be coming back for a Champions League knockout second leg against Inter. We've had to come back a little bit earlier, I'm afraid. The game straight after the first leg against Inter, we got walloped 3-0 by Hertha Berlin. And we've been summoned to the principal's office. This could be our first sacking in Border Adventures. It should be fine though. The general manager of Stuttgart is a chap called Thomas Hitzelsperger. Lovely gentleman, formerly of Aston Villa. So I can't see any problem sweet talking him and keeping my job. I can't say I wasn't warned. People did say down in the comment section when I took on the Stuttgart job that Bundesliga boards are very impatient and notoriously trigger happy. And I think they might be about to be proved to be right since we came back from the winter break. Well, we got those opening 3 victories in the Bundesliga, but since then there's been 6 defeats. We've exited the German Cup and we've tumbled down the league. The game against Hertha was not great. Our players were way too aggressive, reckless in their defending. They gave away 2 penalties and we were pretty toothless in attack as well. That defeat leaves us 9th. We're only 2 points off 4th and getting back into the Champions League places. And the board did say that they only wanted European qualification this season. But it's the run of form that I think has startled the board, and I think we're going to have to go in there and speak to Mr. Hitzelsperger. We could refuse to attend. I think that will mean that we are automatically sacked. So let's get in there and see what Thomas has to say. We're not happy with your current performance and are considering your position. We would like to know why you think the team have performed so badly. That's a question, isn't it? I've been really unlucky with injuries. That's not true. We've had a difficult run of games. That's partially true. I think it looks worse than it is. We've played really well. That is definitely not true. Things haven't been going to plan, but our next few fixtures look more favourable. Okay. Looking at how hard... No, we don't want to say that. I will hold my hands up and admit we've not been great. But if you grant me a month to change, I promise things will look a lot better. Done. We're not comfortable with that idea. Thanks, Thomas. Okay. He's wearing an Aston Villa shirt for this, I think. We're not comfortable with the idea of you managing the team for another month without any guarantees. Okay, well, I could quit. You have to give me some more time, I beg you. We will not beg. I promise you that things will look better in a month's time. Give me until then. Tell me what I need to do to save my job. The last thing the club needs is more upheaval. You should have some faith in me. That sounds attractive. I don't know who you're going to bring in that's better than me. Most people, I think. If you sack me, then you will have one unhappy dressing room. I'm not sure that's true either. If you sack me, the fans, I don't think the fans could care less. We could say, tell me what I need to do. Or we could just go on the offensive and say, you don't need the upheaval right now. Let's take it to Thomas. We are sorry that it has come to this, but we have no other choice but to fire you. I've clicked on the wrong option, haven't I? We wish you all the best in the future. I thought maybe at worst they might give me a 4 or 5 game points target. I've clicked the wrong options. I should have begged. And we're done. Oh no. And they're already announcing odds as to the successor. Okay. Well, that didn't go how I thought it would. I thought we were going to get told that we needed to get 9 points from the next 5 games. We've been told to clear out our desk and get off the premises before they release the hounds. I think we need to start a very urgent job hunt and try and salvage this whole career. We're going to be back when we get a job offer. Who knows where it's going to be? Okay, we're back. We haven't got a job offer. We've had a couple of interviews. Stuttgart have appointed their new manager. And you can't really blame the ambition of Thomas Hitzelsperger, can you? Zinedine Zidane is the man that they have appointed as their new boss. And with those kind of attributes and his track record, well, he's a step up from Tonton Llama Makoko, I think, isn't he? I mean, we've got level of discipline of 27. We don't tolerate any nonsense, but we don't really have the kind of CV or coaching attributes that Zidane has. And testimony to that is the fact that we went for an interview. We were invited for an interview at FC Heidenheim, who are in Bundesliga 2, and we didn't even get that job. We've applied for a job with Lille in the top flight in France. The supporters have laughed off our application. I have no idea what level we are going to pitch up at. But if Stuttgart are replacing us with Zidane and Heidenheim are turning us away, well, this is not good news. Okay, we're back. It's the 12th of March. We have been made a job offer, but we're not sure about taking it. There's not a lot available at the moment. We've applied for the Lille job, but I'm not hopeful of that one. Otherwise, well, it's mainly teams that are in the second, third tiers of their respective countries. These are all the jobs that are insecure, but there's no really big attractive names there, apart from obviously Sporting Club Toulon, but I think the ship has sailed on that particular saga. The job that we have been offered is at Hannover 96, who are in Bundesliga 2 and are currently sitting in 9th place. Probably too far behind St. Pauli to get into those playoffs. It would be a question of trying to nurse it through to the summer break and rebuilding and try and getting them into the Bundesliga next season. The thing that attracts me to it is that Hanover are a pretty big club for that level. They've got a huge stadium. They've won the Bundesliga twice and the German Cup once. This is a club set up for top flight football. And after being sacked by Stuttgart, I do like the idea of taking over another German club and maybe going back to Stuttgart and beating them and showing them that they were wrong. I think what we're going to do is we're going to delay the job offer for a week, see if there's anything that comes up in the next week that tempts us more, then we'll be back to make a decision. So we have played on another week. And we've delayed Hanover by another week because a second job offer has come in. And I think this job offer might be too good to turn down. It is at Lille. The fans laughed off our interest, but Gerard Lopez clearly saw something that he liked. And this is an attractive offer. A transfer budget of £33 million and a wage budget of £1.4 million a week. That's what we were on at Stuttgart. Plus, part of their 5-year plan is to maintain the best youth system in the world. So you've got to imagine there might be a couple of pretty tasty prospects in their youth teams. And for next season, they are only looking for, well, for this season, they're looking for Europa League qualification. Next season, Champions League qualification. Having had a look at the table, I wouldn't be all that confident in getting Europa League qualification this season. They are 4 points behind 6th place Nice with 8 games to go. But they wouldn't sack us halfway through our first season in charge, or 8 games into our first season of charge. But there would still be a chance we could go on a run towards the end of the season. Well, there is a chance. What is that run-in going to be like towards the end of the season? They've got games against Lorient Nice, tough game, although that could claw 3 of the points back to chase Nice down. Le Havre there, Paris Saint-Germain would be a pretty tough game, but Strasbourg, Angers, Brest as they run in. Maybe it would be doable. What have they got by means of decent players? Mike Mannion. A goalkeeper, French, 2.4 million, it's pretty old. Looks like one that you might move on even without seeing his attributes. Victor Malejo. £31 million for a striker with pace of 13 and finishing of 12. A dastardly little proposition. What have we got by way of hot prospects? A 15-year-old Ivorian. That's a little bit more like it. Key player, Maciek Lisowski. I don't know whether the scouts at Stuttgart might have been studying him because we know a little bit about him. Look at some of these attributes. 23, 34 million, stamina, determination, teamwork, work rate. He's a number 10, and I don't think going forward I will ever play a number 10 again, but maybe as a midfielder, he might be an option. I'm talking like I've already accepted it and I'm arranging the players into a formation. I mean, Lille, they're a decent-sized club, aren't they? Look at what we've got here. 3 Ligue 1 titles. Back in 2011 was the last time. They've won the Conference League since it was introduced. What's that, 5 years ago? Coupe de France wins, 6 of those. The stadium is big. I mean, if we compare the two jobs, Hanover are offering £300,000 a week in salary. Lille are offering, what did we say, 1.4 million? We're not going to get a better chance to salvage our reputation and rebuild our career than Lille, I don't think, are we? So we're going to start the negotiations. We are being offered a 2-year contract. The wage, well, the situation we're in will take minimum wage, I think. Qualify for the Champions League on an ongoing basis. Win the Coupe de France on a yearly basis. We do that, we get an extra £24,000. All right. Could be a chance of silverware with this club, couldn't it? Could be a nice challenge to try and hunt down Paris Saint-Germain. Just before we do take it, how dominant have Paris Saint-Germain been over the last, 10 years of the game? Well, they've not won it every year. Lyon did win it one year. Otherwise, well, they are on quite the run. Okay, we're committing to it. This is our new challenge. We are going to accept that offer. We're taking over at Lille. We are in through the door. And we are going to try and finish Border Adventures, not by winning the Bundesliga like we all thought, but instead toppling Paris Saint-Germain and winning Ligue 1. We've taken over Le Dog. Don't know, we'll have to Google translate that one. And we've got a media prediction of 5th, and we're down in, what did we say? Was it 8th? 9th? Okay. They have been playing a pretty similar formation to the one we were using at Stuttgart. That's interesting. That might get us through to the end of the season. They've already got some transfers coming in. Bruno Roussel was a player I nearly signed on a Bosman for Stuttgart, as I was desperate for a left back. Instead, he's coming in at Lille. Okay, he's going to be a backup option. Ian Booth is coming in. What do you like, Ian Booth? All right. Okay, reasonable. He's light-hearted. And we've got some, loan obligations going out. Okay. Well, with 33 million, there's a bit of wriggle room, but we're going to have to be an awful lot better in the transfer market than we were when we were at Stuttgart. I think that was our downfall. Maybe I signed a couple of players for too much money. Signed a couple of players that the scouts hadn't quite finished scouting, and there were a couple of nasty surprises in there to do with temperaments and injuries. But we have got ourselves a fresh start. We are through the door. We're at Lille. Paris Saint-Germain look like they are going to pip Lyon to the title this season. We are going to come back for our first game in charge, where we're going to start trying to hunt down Nice, qualify for some European football, and salvage our career. So the game that we're going to be coming back for is our first game in charge at home against Lorient, Lorient look like they are battling relegation down there. They're 7 points clear. Maybe they've got nothing to play for. Maybe we might be able to get our Lille career off with a victory. But that is one for next time. Sorry to everybody that we blew our chance at Stuttgart. If I could go back and say some different things to Mr. Thomas Hitzelsperger, well, I would beg. And I would ask him what I had to do to save my job rather than swanning in there like he needed me a lot more than I needed him. Lesson learnt there. The last time I had one of these boardroom showdowns, in my defence, I was in charge of Mikulova Sport in the Vanarama North, although that did end in the sack as well. But we have at least fallen on our feet. We are back at a big club. It's not in the country we thought we'd be managing in for the rest of Border Adventures. We're back in France. We're in at Lille. And now our job is to end Border Adventures with a Ligue 1 title. We'll see you next time when we get the new chapter in our adventure underway.